One of the most valuable things that I could teach you is to understand what is causing your headache and how to make it go away. And we can diagnose the type of headache you have generally by where your pain is located and what your head feels like. That is a lot of clues as to what is happening in your body. The body always gives us clues, and pain is a clue, and the type of pain we have is a big clue. So you're going to want to pay attention to your pain and understand it and listen to your body. Make friends with your body so that it can communicate with you and tell you what's going on. This will help us diagnose your headache. We're going to compare the three main types of migraines, and we're going to categorize all three of them into what is causing them, what kind of symptoms we might have, and what can we do to alleviate those symptoms. Now, in my course and throughout this course, you're going to learn all about this. This is an overview, just so that you can start to identify what kind of headache you have, what are your symptoms, and all of that. This is just a tiny overview, but in the course, you'll understand what I mean by a headache caused by liver issues, blood and blood vessel issues, and dehydration. You will also understand throughout the course what I mean by a neck headache and a stress headache. But here for the overview, you're going to learn some of the details of these types of headaches. Let's start with the things that are very unique to each type of headache. First, for the liver, blood, and dehydration headache, it's the only headache that is going to be triggered by food and drink. So this might be triggered by alcohol, cheese, chocolate bars, coffee, heavy fat meals, MSG, perfume, chemicals, strong scents. If something like that has triggered your headache, you know this is the type of headache that you have. You might feel like rubbing your face. This is one of those headaches where you're just going to touch your face and feel like rubbing it to promote some circulation. And this headache is the one that's most susceptible to altitude changes. Now, the neck headache is different and unique in these ways. You will always have neck and shoulder tension. You will sometimes have pain developing in one area of the head, like behind one eye, at one part of your temple. It could be at any place in your head where it's just very localized and it's not all over your whole head. The dehydration, liver, blood headache, and the stress headache are all over your whole head, but the neck headache is in specific locations. Now, those locations might move. It might be like, oh, this spot hurts. Now this spot hurts. Now this spot hurts. But it moves around, or it's just in one location. And you might have tightness in your ears, your jaw, and even tinnitus. That's unique to the neck headache. What's unique to the stress headache is that you can feel tightness in your chest and a feeling of anxiety, like an anxiousness. You'll have difficulty taking a slow, long, deep breath. It'll be very hard and it'll feel like your chest is too tight. And you might crave sugars and carbs because in the stress headache, you're burning up so much glucose. So these are things that are unique. You can start to see that the symptoms and the triggers are unique to the different types of headaches. Now we're going to go into these different types of headaches in more detail so that you can learn this. And it's a lot of information. So please do not feel overwhelmed right now, because as you go through the course in detail and over time, this is all going to make a lot more sense. Right now, it may seem like a lot, but you'll get it. This is good. This is a lot of information right here. Your early warning signs of a liver, blood vessel, or dehydration headache coming are really important to notice, because when you notice these symptoms, you can mitigate right away and stop your migraine. So the first thing you're going to notice is you're rubbing your face a lot. You're touching your temples, you're rubbing your whole face, and you're doing this a lot. That is a sign you're dehydrated. You're going to have brain fog, feeling slow and like you're moving through water. And trust me, it's not because you didn't drink enough water. That is not the cause of this headache in general. It can be. It can be because you're out in the sun too long and you didn't drink enough. Yes, that can cause this exact kind of symptoms. But people who drink a lot of water can also get one of these headaches. Your energy is going to be very low. You're going to have the early warning signs, slight head pain focused at the temples, behind your eyes, in your forehead, and the top of your head. It's going to feel like it's more in the front area of your head. And that's the area that will hurt the most, but it will also be kind of all over your brain. But feels like it's a lot in the front. You might have a dry mouth, feeling some confusion, meaning that you're not as sharp, right? You're just not as sharp. It'll increase your heart rate, and it'll not be located on one side of the head unless it's also coming with a lot of neck tension. If it really should feel, this one will feel like it's spread out bilaterally, both sides. Now, the symptoms of a liver, blood, or dehydration migraine. So once you get the full-on migraine, let's hope you don't go there, but if you do, the things that you're going to feel are, first of all, you might notice that it was triggered by something you ate or something you drank. It's intense pain, very intense all over, and especially towards the front of the head, the forehead, the temples, behind the eyes, and behind both eyes, right? And it's just really intense pain there. You feel like rubbing your face even after you get the headache. You're going to feel a general malaise, just like you don't feel well, just like, it just feels so heavy and you don't feel well. You can be affected by altitude changes. This can be dramatic too. So you can get a lot of really strong symptoms. Symptoms could be as strong as slurred speech, loss of motor coordination, falling asleep or passing out, not being able to stay awake. Because in this situation, you do not have enough nutrients and oxygen going to the brain. You can have lack of concentration or focus. Now, there could be many other possible symptoms just because you don't have enough nutrients going to your brain, right? So lots of things can happen. Anything that your brain has to do, you might not be able to do very well. You're going to feel dry, like your skin is dry, your mouth is dry, your eyes are dry. And again, it's not because you didn't drink enough water. You can drink a lot of water and still have all these symptoms. And this is one of the harder ones to get rid of quickly because it takes a little time to rehydrate and calm down all the things that are going on, and there's going to be tremendous amount of swelling in the blood vessels to bring up more nutrients to the brain. So it's not going to go away quickly, but if you do the following protocol I'm about to share with you, in about 30 minutes, you should start to feel less pain. So to treat your liver, blood, dehydration type of migraine in the early stages, now again, before you have a full-on migraine, because a full-on migraine takes the body time to recover from. So you want to do it early stages. First thing, drink a liter of coconut water. Now, today, for most people in the world, I know there's people who cannot get a hold of coconut water. I understand. You're in a remote community, you live in the mountains, they don't have it, whatever. Some people are not going to be able to get coconut water. In that case, you want to drink juice that has sugar and minerals and electrolytes. And I don't mean a fake juice, I mean a real one, natural. Coconut water is the best. It's very similar in nutrients and consistency to the spinal fluid in that it has a mineral glucose balance, a real high mineral glucose balance, which the spinal fluid that nourishes the brain has that. So you want to drink your coconut water, try to drink a lot. Now, I'm not talking about 6 ounces, I'm talking about a liter. And then 30 minutes later, you'll notice a difference. Take some colloidal minerals, a mineral or electrolyte supplement to help. That helps get the hydration into the cells. So like I said, you're drinking a ton of water and the water might not go into your cells. It might not hydrate you. And if you're low on electrolytes, water's not going to do you much good. So be sure and do that. And then avoid all things that are dehydrating. This is alcohol, cheese, fats, anything that when you chew it up, it can't just be rinsed down, just flow down the sink by itself. And of course, alcohol, pop, and coffee are no-nos also. Then, belly breathe. This is really important because as your body is trying to get the nutrients it needs a lot of oxygen. And once you are in pain, your body goes into fight or flight, and then you're not breathing slowly and deeply from your belly. And when you're not breathing slowly and deeply from your belly, not enough oxygen goes to the brain. And then you want to smile because this will release serotonin, which also promotes circulation to the brain. And in this particular migraine, you really want to take time for rest because now your body has been super taxed. Your brain doesn't have enough oxygen, nutrients, etc. So you need to rest. You need to lie down, close your eyes, and get the body hydrated and let it recover. If you do this in the early stages of this migraine, it will go away, but you need to be careful and follow my protocol number 1, because that's on how to rehydrate the body and heal the liver and heal the blood in the blood vessels and get the blood thinner, not so thick, so that you won't keep being triggered by these foods. I had this problem. I had this type of headache. And today I can eat anything I want and it won't trigger a migraine, anything, because my body now is working properly and I have the right mineral balance and I'm doing really good. But I used to be triggered by wine, cheese, chocolate, all those things used to trigger my migraines, altitude, but today I'm fine. Next are the early warning signs of a neck-related headache coming on. Again, these are the signs you're going to notice in the beginning before you get a migraine. Neck and shoulder tension, absolutely. You may also experience back pain. Sometimes when I used to get these, my low back was out and it caused my neck and shoulders to work a lot harder, and the pain went all the way up my back into my neck, and my neck is where I really felt the pain. So it could be a low back problem. Then you might have pain at the base of the skull. That's an area where the muscles connect and we get a lot of pain there. Pain might develop behind one eye or at a temple. Again, this is the early stages, so this is a mild pain. If you notice a mild pain already starting behind an eye or a temple, emergency sign. This is like, do something now. And I'm going to show you what to do. You might notice your jaw is tight. There might be pain in your face, sinuses, your jaw, pain behind the ear, etc. Tinnitus, you could have ringing in the ear. And the pain will feel more distracting. Like, you're going along, you can function, you can do your work, but you're distracted by this pain in your head, this pain behind your temple. So the pain is more of a distraction than one where in the liver headache where it makes you confused and you lose your ability to focus. Here the pain is just more distracting. Now, when you're starting to get full-on migraine from this headache, you're going to have these type of symptoms. You might have pain behind an eye or pain on one side of the head. It could be anywhere in your head. It could be anywhere in your skull, anywhere in your face, but it's located more in specific areas. Now, you might have pain in your sinuses or your cheekbones. Those are common because what happens with this type of headache is it tenses up the jaw, and then the jaw is so tight, it cuts off circulation to your entire face. Now, I don't mean like your face is going to, turn blue, but it pinches the nerves and the blood vessels enough to cause your cheeks to hurt and your gums to hurt and your sinuses to hurt. So you might have pain all over your face, but in your head, it's going to be more in specific spots or on one side. Now, you're going to have pain at the temples sometimes, but it's usually not both sides. You're going to have pain at the occipital bone, at the base of the skull, sometimes, not always. And you might have strong neck and back pain with this migraine. You probably will. And tinnitus is a possibility. So what do we do? Again, there's other symptoms that can happen when you get this headache. So once it becomes a full-on migraine, and any of the migraines can cause nausea and vomiting because it does trigger the fight or flight response. So you can get nausea and vomiting. But with this headache, I think that it's a little more common to get the nausea and vomiting because it's an intense pain and the body is trying to relax. So when you get a migraine, you can have nausea and vomiting, shallow breathing, difficulty focusing because now your body's trying to go into rest. And you can feel anxiety with this particular migraine if your top two vertebrae are misaligned because the body will have a fight or flight response and a strong feeling of panic if the neck is really out at the top. And that chiropractors deal with that. When they adjust people up there, sometimes anxiety goes away very quickly. Now, once you know that you've noticed, hey, I have a neck headache coming on, I'm having some pain around my face and behind an eye or on one side of my face. Once you start the early warning signs, then it's time to change things right away. Don't wait. Things that will work are relax your jaw and massage your face. So just right now, put both hands on the side of your jaw, on the side of your cheeks. Feel how relaxing that is. Automatically, you start to relax your jaw. So you're going to want to touch your face and not rub it like you would at the other headache, but just kind of massage it and gently relax your face so that you're relaxing your jaw. Now you're going to keep your neck over your whole spine. Don't let it go forward because this strains a lot of the muscles. And you're going to do self-massage. You can use oils that promote circulation. I have all those oils listed in my course, the ones that I prefer, but you can use any that are good for stimulating blood flow and reducing pain, that are more natural. There's a lot of them that are pure essential oils, totally natural. Most important thing you could possibly do, move your spine. Move around, dance, get up, wiggle your spine. This is absolutely critical with the headache coming from your neck and your back. There's nothing more important you can do than move your spine. If you feel like just laying down for the next 12 hours, you're not going to get better very fast. You have to move your spine. You need that nourishment going up and down the spine, getting all the nerves up and down the spine nourished with the spinal fluid. That's absolutely critical. Then you need to stretch. And the pectoral muscles, which are located in the front of the chest, right in front of the armpits is where they start. That part gets really tight and it pulls on the neck. So if you stretch those out, then your neck releases a lot of tension. That's really important. You're going to stretch the whole body because when the neck gets tight, it's usually the fascia is getting really tight. Now you could have a combination of this headache coming from the dehydration situation, because when we are dehydrated, our body steals hydration from our fascia. Our fascia connects every tissue in our body, and we hold tons of water, like gallons of water in our fascia. And when we need extra water, the body just squeezes it out of the fascia and uses it wherever it needs it. Well, guess what? That makes the body tight and tense, and it binds everything up and makes it kind of locked down. And if you stretch it, then the fascia will release and you'll get a lot of better blood flow. So you want to, if you feel tight all over, like if you just kind of check in and your legs are a little tight, you know, your hands feel a little tight, just notice your body. If that's going on, be sure and do some hydration and with electrolytes. Then you want to belly breathe because you need to relax the autonomic nervous system, get out of fight or flight, go into rest and digest so those muscles can calm down. That's right. And of course, the right kind of minerals that will help your muscles relax are magnesium and calcium. Whenever we get stressed, our body actually flushes out magnesium and calcium so that the muscles won't be relaxed. So they're going to be ready for fighting or fleeing. So when you want to relax, you need more magnesium and calcium. So if your muscles are tight, you can spray on magnesium oil, you can take a supplement, you can take some colloidal minerals. Those kind of things are going to help you as well. Now, the third type of headache that we're going to talk about is the stress headache. Now, the early warning signs that you're in a stress headache situation are yawning, and that's because you're not belly breathing and you're not getting enough oxygen. You're going to feel a need to stretch. So this is the headache where you start to go, oh, and you start to feel a need to stretch. I mean, that can happen with a neck headache, but it always will happen with stress headache, is you're just going to feel, really tight and tense. Your jaw will be tight. Your shoulders will be tight. You'll feel a sense of fatigue, like you just feel heavy and you want to go rest. Anxiety. You're going to feel more anxious and just more in general stressed out about things. You're going to feel pressure often, and it will be in the chest, or you'll feel mental pressure. You'll feel rushed or pushed, just so much going on. Maybe overwhelmed. You'll have difficulty taking a slow, deep breath. You can be emotionally sensitive, meaning that you trigger easy and things frustrate you easy. You're more irritable. Increased heart rate is common, but craving sugar, carbs, and snacks is also really common. Your brain is so low in glucose in the stress headache. Now, here's the signs that you've gone into a full migraine on the stress headache. You have severe pain all over your head. It is not located in one area. It's everywhere. You have tightness in your chest and a feeling of anxiety. It's very hard to belly breathe. You're feeling tense, rushed, overwhelmed, panicked, or worried. You will have difficulty taking long, slow, deep breaths. You'll have pressure on the skull often. Not always, but there might be, you might feel like your skull actually hurts. Now you can have neck tension that comes with this, jaw pain, dry mouth, so that it's really hard to get any saliva. If you were trying to get saliva, you wouldn't be able to. You'll often have nausea or vomiting, and then you'll be weak and you want to lie down with no stimulation like in a dark room, because in the stress headache, what has happened is your central nervous system, which is your brain, your brainstem, and your spinal column, they've been overstimulated with not enough nutrients. Let's say that, you're at work and you had all these tasks to do, you had to skip lunch, you haven't had anything to drink, you've been bombarded with 100 million things, your brain is working as hard as it can and it runs out of resources, and you're feeling pressure and you're feeling deadlines and all this stuff, and you have no resources. So what happens is you want to turn off your brain and just give it, don't be using up resources by stimulating the brain anymore. This is like when your car is completely out of oil and you're going to try and keep driving it. Your brain is completely out of what it needs, and if you keep stimulating it, you're going to burn up the engine, right? So you really need to rest. And that's why the body actually shuts you down at a certain point of the migraine, because it's dangerous. The body is saying, hey, I've got to conserve myself, so I'm going to shut down the whole body. And when a migraine gets bad enough, you can't even function. So what do we do for a stress headache? How do we treat it? Now, again, early. Get it early, because once it's full on, it could take days for all of the pain to go away from all the swelling that's happened in your brain, all the blood vessels that swell up to try to promote more circulation. So your pain could take a while to go away. So you want to get it early. What you want to do is immediately try to calm down the nervous system. The fastest way to do that is very slow, deep belly breaths. There are lots of techniques for slow belly breathing. There's 4-count breathing. There's deep relaxation things you can do. One thing that HeartMath promotes is that they say when you breathe in, your body, your autonomic nervous system is in the sympathetic state, which means fight or flight. When you breathe out, it goes into rest and digest. So all it's doing is the autonomic nervous system is kind of in this rhythm of on, off of each type of the autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. So when you breathe out longer than you breathe in, you're triggering a more relaxed response. So you breathe in and then you breathe out a lot longer and slower, and try to push all the air out of your chest. Just really deep breaths. These are things that you can do to calm the nervous system. And we're going to talk throughout the course about all kinds of things you can do. Trust me, I'm going to teach you a lot of relaxation techniques, self-care techniques, which is a big part of what to do for stress headaches. So you want to close your eyes and totally reduce the stimulation. Sound, sight, everything. Just stop getting stimulation until you have all the resources that your brain needs again. Be mindful. So one of the things that happens when you're in a stress situation is you're in the mental state and you lose track of your body and your thoughts and your feelings. You just kind of zone into this mental state. So pay attention to how your body feels and your thoughts and your feelings, and try to get to a neutral state where you're just feeling your body. You're not thinking anything. You're not feeling anything. You're just like, I'm with my body right now. Yeah, we're just hanging out, the two of us, and I'm just paying attention to my body and seeing what it needs and listening to it. So that's being really mindful. Laughter. If you're not on a full-on migraine, you don't want to be laughing too much on a full-on migraine, but if you're in the early stages, laughter actually releases a lot of stress. So does shaking. If you shake, I'm going to show you some Qigong videos where you shake, and it's one of the best ways to release stress. Absolutely zero multitasking. Multitasking is very stressful to the nervous system, and it will cause you to go into fight or flight. So do not do multitasking. Get social connection. Have someone who is already grounded hold your hand, rub your shoulders, touch you. Somebody who is not in a stressed out state, or play with a pet. It's very, very grounding to be with something or somebody who's already grounded. Exercise like stretching, massage, yoga, all these things are good for promoting the circulation and reducing the stress, and lying down, of course, are good ones. Now, I want to reiterate that once a migraine is in full force, The body could take days for the swelling to go down. Prevention and quick intervention are your best options. So after you have a migraine, you can only do so much to lessen the pain. All of these protocols that I just showed you will help reduce the pain of the migraine. They will help you feel better, but the blood vessels can take a while to go back down and make sure the brain has enough resources. So the pain might still be there, but it will help your symptoms if you do these things. So identifying the cause of the headaches early is the key to stopping it before it becomes a migraine. Let's talk about what these 3 migraines are caused by. And I'm going to go over this kind of quickly because it's much more explained throughout the course. I will just review these slides quickly, and you can pause at any time to review any of these slides in more detail because there's a lot of information on these slides. The liver blood dehydration type of headache is caused by either one of many things. It could be a sluggish liver. It could be sticky, thick blood. It could be your arteries that are not expanding and contracting. I'm going to go into great detail on what causes that. Chronic dehydration, which is generally caused by being low on electrolytes. Low kidney function. Excessive pain medications or excessive medications that dehydrate you. These are some of the causes of this type of headache. And what happens is your body has gotten into a bad state. This is not a quick fix. You're going to have to heal the body if you have this type of headache. The neck headaches are caused by mostly poor posture and weak spine and neck muscles. Those are both things you can fix pretty easily if you try. You might have weak core muscles as well, spinal misalignment due to injury or poor posture over a long period of time, and lack of exercise. Now, the stress headache is caused by multitasking or rushing, too much mental focus and ignoring the body, insufficient downtime to relax the autonomic nervous system. This means that people are doing things all the time and they never take any downtime, and the autonomic nervous system does not get into rest and digest very well. So the body stays in this heightened state, and it doesn't take much to trigger the stress response. Lack of clearing the mind of activities. We have to have downtime for the mind, and not allowing the muscles time to relax. If you don't allow the nervous system to get into rest and renew for a long period of time, you're going to have more stress headaches. This slide is for you to read and review and see the different early warning signs of each of the types of migraines. And then on this slide, you can see just an overview of what kind of symptoms that they might have. If you want this page to be handy, there's a handout of this in this week 1. And then lastly, the triggers for each type of headache. Again, this is in one of the handouts. So here's the cheat sheet on how to solve for each of the headache types. And this cheat sheet, I do recommend you keep handy, especially in the beginning while you're still learning what type of headache you have and what to do for each type of headache. Knowledge is power. I want you to know your headache and how to treat it. Even if you only reduce the symptoms, you're still helping your body and you will feel better. Now, more details are coming in the course. You're going to learn all about these. By following the protocol for your headache type, you alleviate the possibility of getting triggered for more migraines. That's what the protocols are for, and you will learn those throughout the course. Now, by following this course and doing the steps, you will heal your body so that you're not susceptible to head pain. This video offers a lot of information, and I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. It will become easier as you go through the course. You will learn what you need in order to get well and join the No More Migraines Club. I'll see you there.